Welcome to the newest installation of the Canadian Natural Disasters series, where we'll be covering hurricanes. To understand the impact hurricanes have made on Canada in the past, we'll go over many topics, from how hurricanes are caused, to the areas where it may affect, how to keep your family safe, and even a study of a particularly devastating hurricane, Hurricane Juan, the deadliest Atlantic Canadian hurricane in over a century.
But before we start to delve in the fascinating science of hurricanes, we need to understand, what are hurricanes? Hurricanes are usually formed near the equator as they use moist warm air to form clouds. As the warm air rises, cooler air comes in and takes its place, creating a region of lower air pressure below. Soon the moist air creates clouds as the air continues to rise and more air comes to take its place. Fed by the ocean's heat, the water in the air creates more clouds, allowing the storm to grow. As the air continues to draw into the low pressure area, the Earth's rotation causes the storm to spin. As more clouds enter the tropical storm, the storm grows, forming an area of extremely low pressure called the eye. The winds continue to rotate the storm, which, when it reaches a certain speed, can then be classified as a hurricane. Hurricanes bring strong winds and heavy rain, along with potential high waves and tornadoes. The hurricane proceeds to move due to the Earth's rotation and prevailing winds. In the Atlantic, the Gulf Stream provides warm air and warm water northbound that maintains the hurricane. Where in Canada do hurricanes affect? Obviously, Canada is a large, diverse country, which narrows down the hurricane hotspots down to the coastlines, although the storms the hurricanes bring can travel inland, such as Hurricane Hazel when storms affected Toronto. We already know that hurricanes only form in warm waters, leaving no possible hurricanes up north. Furthermore, the North Pacific Current of the West Coast is too far up north to maintain hurricanes. The winds of the cyclones and tropical storms on the west coast are usually too slow to be considered a hurricane. Therefore, the prime targets for hurricanes are the maritime provinces, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador.
Interesting facts about hurricanes. Did you know the origin of the word hurricane? Though it seems like it would be from a scientific term, it is a word taken from a native language called Taino. There are also some statistics that might boggle your mind. Hurricanes are only classified as hurricanes if they have wind speeds of over 119 kilometers per hour, or else they are classified as a tropical storm. An average hurricane will deposit almost 2 meters of water wherever they hit land. Hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones are all synonyms. The only difference is where they form. The strongest part of the hurricane is the place around the eye of the hurricane. However, if you are inside the eye of the hurricane, there are little to no winds there. What can be done to minimize risks of damage or injury? Make sure your house can be completely shut and there are no loose shingles or doors that don't fully close. Also, board up all windows because glass may come in. Have some extra foods like crackers that don't expire, and electricity will probably be down during a hurricane, so eat the food in your fridge first. Do not go outside during the hurricane at all costs. It's too dangerous, and there will be lots of debris being thrown around, and it's possible that you might also be blown away. The basement is the safest part of the house, but make sure there are no electronics directly above you, and if it appears that your house might tear apart, get underneath the table, as that's the safest place that you can be.
Case study: Hurricane Juan. One of the deadliest Canadian hurricanes of the past century, Hurricane Juan was a Category 2 hurricane formed in September 2003, caused 8 fatalities and nearly $200 million in damages. Hurricane Juan began as a tropical storm formed on September 24th, southeast of Bermuda. It quickly traveled north, strengthening along the Gulf Stream where it peaked in speed at 165 miles per hour on September 27th. Entering Atlantic Canadian waters, Hurricane Juan weakened due to the cold of the Labrador Current and hit land in its weakened form at Chad Bay. Hurricane Juan continued north, crossing Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, and eventually died down in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Halifax was hit excessively, with storm surges from 1 to 2 meters high, although rain was relatively lessened, with only up to 2 inches. Hurricane Juan uprooted trees, knocked down power lines, and caused property damage. It remains the fastest speed measured by Halifax Stanfield International Airport at 143 kilometers an hour.
Emergency plan and kit components for your family. Like I introduced earlier, make sure to have some boards you can cover your windows with. Also have a basic first aid kit, and a flashlight with extra batteries is extremely useful. Also, having some non-perishable food is always important if you need to stay in your house for more than 3 days. Also make sure that you have some waterproofing material that can keep your valuables dry, and also things like beds that you may need to sleep in and keep you warm. If you are requested to evacuate your house, make sure to stay together and have a meeting area planned out in case you are separated from the rest of your family. Make sure you pick an easy to remember meeting spot, somewhere that everybody in your family will know.